Bienvenidas, amigas, and welcome to the second annual Latinas Make a Difference Summit. I'm Lilliana Vasquez, and you might know me from my day job at E! But for the next 3 days, I am thrilled to be your host for this year's summit. For those of you who joined us last year, welcome back. And for those of you joining us for the very first time, we are so glad that you're here. Now, I don't know about you, but after the year we've had, I am ready to kick off 3 days of power-packed events designed to elevate and celebrate our poder. We Latinas are powerful creatures on our own, and I don't need to tell you all that. But when we come together, that poder becomes palpable. Just look at all the warm hellos you're all giving each other right now on our feed. It is beautiful to see, and it's amazing when you feel it. And that's what we hope this summit does for you. That's also why we chose power or poder as the theme for this year's summit, because we can all use a little empowerment right about now, don't you think? Now, speaking of power, Poderistas was founded by 10 powerhouse Latinas who wanted to create a community where we can learn together, grow together, and get inspired together. Whether we're talking about recipes and cocktails and self-care, or more serious issues that affect not just our lives, but our families' lives too. Things like finances, jobs, and even who we vote into office. Luckily, the lineup of experts we have for y'all is next level. From Alexis McGill, the new CEO of Planned Parenthood, to our incredible keynote speaker and my friend, Robin Arzón, and of course, a few of your favorite famous faces, including 2 of our founders, Eva Longoria and America Ferrera. Now, speaking of Eva, she is right here and she is ready to kick off this summit with me. Eva, hello.
Hola, Liliana. Hola, mis hermanas poderistas. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us for the second annual Latinas Make a Difference Summit. I am so happy to be with you here again, alongside the rest of our founders, our speakers, our sponsors. And as Liliana said, we have brought together some of the smartest, most creative, talented Latinas for 3 days of conversations and gatherings that I hope will inspire you to live your best life, celebrate who you are as a woman, as a Latina, and as everything and anything you want to be. During this next couple of days, we hope that you will join us in as many events as you can, from the lighthearted conversations to the more serious ones. We've purposely kept each event under an hour, and in some cases even less, just so you can pop in, learn something new, maybe pick up a tip or two, but most importantly, feel the beautiful and powerful sense of community that we strive to create with Poderistas. And if you miss anything, don't even worry, because everything's going to be up on our YouTube channel at the end of the summit, so you can watch or rewatch events on demand. Share them with your amigas, your tias, your primas, with everyone. There's going to be so much for everybody to see. I also want to say thank you. Thank you so much to our sponsors. None of this weekend's events would have even been possible without the support of our amazing sponsors, P&G, AARP, Warner Media, and Parsons Entrepreneur Academy. Thank you. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who has been working alongside us for weeks and weeks behind the scenes. We really couldn't have done it without your commitment to supporting and celebrating Latinas. You deserve a mil gracias, mil gracias. Thank you so much. So I don't know if y'all are ready. I'm ready. So let's get this started.
Hi, Poderistas. Hola, Poderistas. It's amazing to get to connect with y'all today. I spent a lot of time recently with my mom as the abuela to my new little girl, Athena. And I've been spending a lot of time kind of unpacking what it means to be strong and create a legacy that makes our ancestors proud. Small questions. Big questions. But that's a little bit of what I wanted to talk with you all today about, is this idea that we are writing the next chapter in our stories. And this season of my life has involved a little bit of slowing down in having my baby and being postpartum this year. And also, it's a season of putting myself back together again, physically, emotionally. And I think we all as a collective are kind of doing that, coming out from under the pandemic and the toll that it's taken specifically on our communities as Latinas and as leaders of the home, leaders of businesses, leaders of industries. And let's take a moment to just honor each other and those stories and that strength today. So some of y'all might know me from Peloton. I'm the head instructor and vice president of fitness programming at Peloton, but I was not always an athlete. In fact, I was not an athlete at all as a kid. I used to be a lawyer. So I started running marathons and ultra marathons and ran out of a law career and really started to create myself and own the pen to the story I was writing through a pair of running shoes. I was held hostage at a young age, at a young adulthood when I was entering my senior year at NYU. I was completely happenstance in the East Village at a wine bar meeting girlfriends for a drink after work. I was a paralegal at the time at a law firm downtown, and I was held at gunpoint. And in that moment, time slows down and I became acutely aware of narrative, of story. And the main thought running through my head during that incident was, this is not the end to my story. My mother is not getting a phone call tomorrow that I died in the East Village. And as any trauma survivors watching and listening know, there's the transformative event, and then there's the reliving of the event and deciding whether we're going to wake up and be victorious or be a victim to the circumstance. And I chose to be victorious. And in this story, the queen saves her damn self. And I think as Poderistas, that resonates, right? How many times have we had to pick up ourselves again and hold on to our communities to make sure that we still got this? So bringing me back to know the initial question of how we honor legacy and the example that my mother gave me, that I think when I was healing from this traumatic event, I really linked back to my mother's story of resiliency and strength and tenacity and the ability to continuously evolve. So a little bit about my family's history. I'm Puerto Riqueña and Cubana. My father is from Puerto Rico, from Humacao, and my mother is from Cuba, from Banas. And I'm the first generation born here in the States. They were both incredibly powerful and resilient in how they got to where they are. My father is an attorney and my mother as a doctor. But I'll share a little bit about my mom because she is a superhero, and I do believe superheroes are real. The queen saves herself in this story too. So my mom came as a Cuban refugee and did not speak a lick of English, landed in Philadelphia in the middle of January and thought, my life is over. What is this gray? What is winter? What is this gray environment? And I don't even have a winter coat. Okay. So lots of transition, and the kernel that I take from her story is that she continued to bet on herself. She taught herself English by watching PBS. She was in a school where she was always a straight A student. She was not, I didn't learn sports from her either. She was the straight A student kid. She did not play sports. She was super academic, but not when she came to the States because of the language barrier. And she was in a school where at a certain grade in high school, if you weren't making the cut, you were basically sent to a trade track. And she really wanted to go to college. She dreamed of being a doctor, but she wasn't performing well in school. So she was on the cusp of being put into a track that she wouldn't even been able to apply for colleges. And she marched into the Monsignor's office with the only Spanish speaking nun in the entire high school and said, I'm going to make you a bet. If I can get a B average next semester in all of my classes or above, you promise to put me into the educational track where I get to apply to college in my junior year. And I mean, who won that bet? Mommy did. I love that story because I can envision my mom, all of 15 years old, having just gotten here to the States and thinking, I'm going to bet on myself. And I think about that little girl. I think about the prior version of, my mom, and how dare I now, with the privilege that they've given me, that they've worked for, not step into my power? How dare we not step into our power when we are potentially the manifestation of our abuela's greatest dreams? So when I look at my little girl now, I think, how am I going to own the pen to my story so you can step into the vastness of who you are? And whether you're a parent or not, how can we create and hold space for each other's power? How can we create and hold space, recognizing individual privilege, and then reaching up and across and back and down so we can be an interconnected, interlinked community that's filled with pride, filled with orgullo, filled with poder, right? And I thought that I would also share a little bit of how tools and superhero elements of my superhero toolkit that I have amassed along the way, in part that my mom has taught me, and then in part just that, the hustle has taught me, that a few tips on how to befriend yourself when the world is trying to bring you down. One is the internal monologue. As an athlete, as an ultramarathoner, I have discovered that we can be our most vicious critics. I do believe in sweating out the inner critic. You want to take a class with me? You want to take a run with me? Trust me, honey, we are going to turn that inner critic into an inner advocate. But I encourage you to take some time to unpack and listen to how you are speaking to yourself. Can you speak to yourself like you would a girlfriend? Can you speak to yourself like you would your closest amiga, Because chances are the things that you're saying to yourself are not things that you would say to a loved one. So can we reframe that conversation to something that is empowering? When I was leaving law, I asked myself one pivotal question, linking back to my mother's story of betting on herself. I thought, why not me? Then why not me to create a career in wellness? Even though I wasn't seeing a lot of examples and I really didn't have any connections at all in the industry. Really didn't see many examples of Latinas in the space very much at all. So that I was connected to. So that's the first piece, is can you speak to yourself like you would a friend? Can you unlock potential with your own self-talk that enables you to bet on yourself and get to your next level? The second thing in my superhero toolkit is owning the no. When I was leaving law, there were opportunities that presented themselves, and I thought, I got to take this, even though it's free, or even though I feel undervalued, or even though it doesn't feel really in alignment. I'm just, it's that pivot point. It's that inflection point when your gut says, I should be saying no to this. Let's start saying yes without guilt and no without fear for the repercussions. We can say no without apology. It is a full sentence, a complete sentence. Sometimes it involves an exclamation point. And it protects our yeses. The third thing on my list is a gratitude practice, is a way to turn and catalyze why me into try me. I've realized that self-pity is poison, that even as I think back to that story that happened to me in the East Village, I've had to reframe it and use it as a source of strength. So if you are in a season right now where you're feeling like, God, I cannot get a break, the next step to success feels like quicksand. I get it. I've been there. We've been there. You showed up to this. We're going to keep showing up to each other. We're going to keep showing up even when we have to bring our own sunshine and BYOS, bring our own swagger. A gratitude journal practice that I do every weekend is usually on a Sunday night, just listing things that I'm just so grateful for. It really does reframe, kind of like an Instagram filter. It really does reframe the narrative, reframe the story. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that movement is medicine. I healed from the inside out after that traumatic experience with a pair of running shoes. One step after another, starting with short runs and then signing up for a half marathon and then taking it to a marathon and then a 50-mile race. And I was like, oh, damn, like this is happening, right? And the reason that I wrote my book, Shut Up and Run, was because I wanted to demystify this running thing. And I wanted to explain that we can show up for victory looking as ourselves. So when I show up to races rocking gold jewelry and a lip and a cat eye, feeling like that was exploring the vastness of who I am. And I hope that you are inspired to show up to the places where you lead in the vastness of who you are. And, you know, I will admit, when I was a young lawyer, there was code switching going on. I didn't correct people on how to say my last name. I didn't feel like I could show up in my full expression. I felt like I had one foot in one world and one foot in the other. And it has taken quite a long time for me to step into the power that I identify with today. But I do hope that with experiences like this, we can hold space and you can see a glimmer of your own potential. And that if you stand in your truth long enough, even when your voice shakes, that you are paving the way for someone to look at you and say, damn, I can do it too. And I'm very grateful for organizations and communities like this because we need each other so much. And the connection that we're able to forge in moments like this is invaluable. And I guess, you know, the last thing that I'll note is, if we're talking about superheroes and we're talking about the queen saving herself, disruptors are often misunderstood. Innovators are often misunderstood. So not everybody's going to get you, but enough people will, the right people will. And I have been called too much, a lot. It's a lot. You're welcome. Too much is your superpower. So when you're looking at the ways that you can speak kinder to yourself, that you can own your no to protect your yes, that you can have a gratitude practice for all that we do have, so that you can protect your community and keep speaking your truth. Remember that you are one of one limited edition. And we might just be the materialization of our ancestors' greatest hopes and dreams and wishes. Even when that's too much, let it be too much. We're going to make waves and everybody else is just going to have to learn how to swim. And please, let's stay healthy in our communities. Let's keep moving with purpose. Going for walks, going for runs, joining me at Peloton if you can. I want us to stay healthy and empowered. And that is in our physical bodies and in our spirits. So do what it takes to protect your peace, because there is no price tag on that. It is my honor to rock with y'all today. Poderistas, let's keep doing the damn thing. And, you know, we might be celebrating this month, but what if every month can be our month? It's my honor. Cuídate. Thank you so much.
That was an incredible keynote. Thank you, Robin, so much. Now, if anyone wants to listen into that again or share it with a friend, remember, everything will be on our YouTube channel. So please share, comment, and like away.
Is Hispanic progress a pro for America? Some people still question it. But when I see mi gente, all I see are pros. The producers and protectors, the programmers and professors pushing the country forward. That's why P&G is proud to join Hispanic Star to empower our communities, because they see what we see, that our progress will always, always be a pro. Help us power progress at HispanicStar.org.
Hi, my name is Samantha Lopez. I'm 27 years old, and my life drastically changed at the young age of 17. I fell 30 feet outside of my bedroom window, and that left me paralyzed from the waist down. I was really lucky to have such a strong support system within my mom and my dad. They are both very hard workers and have always had the mentality of si se puede and never let me basically give up on my second chance at life after sustaining a spinal cord injury and being in a wheelchair. They pushed me to find friends and to find community, and that's ultimately how I found the Roulettes. And the team at the time was based out of some girls in wheelchairs who wanted to dance. And initially, dance wasn't what brought me to the team. It definitely was my craving for friendship and my craving for community and the understanding of life in a wheelchair and everything that it entails. And we wanted to give that back to the community. We opened up Roulette's Experience. It is a weekend event where we welcome women from all over the world to come and spend a weekend with us. We host dance classes, we host seminars, and basically the root of it all is just based on friendship, based on community. And being surrounded by such a powerhouse of women is something that feeds my soul every single year. I am nothing without my strong Latin Mexican parents, and I am nothing without my communities. 2 minutes is definitely not enough to be able to share my story and my community with you guys, but there's a little insight into my life and what I do and where I come from. So yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. Adios.